Hey now, cats, we're back again this week. You might recognize this guy from last week's show. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Matt Nesti, Wheels, if you will. Honestly, this week, me and him are quite, let me do a little setup here, sir. Me and him are pretentious film assholes. And we had this idea that we're going to get two pretentious film assholes together, and I'm going to give him a recommendation, and he's going to give me a recommendation, and we're going to talk about it. And I can't think of two bigger pretentious film assholes than us, so this can't go wrong. So, I mean, what movie did I give you, sir?
Here's the thing. This is about to be ridiculous, because not only are we two pretentious assholes, but we're two pretentious assholes who are so, like, polar opposite.
I know, that's the whole fun part.
And to that being said, the movie you gave me was I Saw the Devil. And what was the movie I gave you?
Monsieur, wait, hold on. Yeah, is that right? Monsieur
Roll it off the tongue.
Vacation. And you know what? I was promising myself I wouldn't fuck it up the whole night because I'm going, Monsignor. And I'm like, that's not it. Fuck.
Monsieur
Hulot's Holiday.
The alliteration.
Filmed by, what's his name?
Jacques Tati.
Jacques.
I think that's like French for Jack.
Jacques Tati. And I'm like, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Here's the thing. These are you gave me I Saw the Devil, which is the perfect movie to just like eat a big dinner before and invite your family over with your like grandparents, your little cousins and sisters.
Now that would be Human Centipede 2. I watched with my mom.
So okay, the jokes aside, holy fucking shit, dude, that was the crazy. Okay, so I don't know, we're just gonna spoil everything, right? That's just how we're just gonna talk about things.
Yeah, well, I'll put spoiler alerts. But I mean, honestly, if you haven't seen either of these films yet,
go watch them. Yeah, go after you watch. You're gonna want to see if we're even onto something. I loved this idea of most dangerous game, but where the guy doing the hunting is, the victim of the prey, or the fiance, I'm tongue-tied. Fiance of the victim, and the guy being hunted is the serial killer piece of shit. That was one of the coolest takes I've seen. That was fucking nuts. It was violent as shit. Like within seconds of it, there's just a woman having her skull bashed in. Just over and over and over again. It was fucking violent.
Allow me to interrupt.
Get in here, because I'm enamored by it, because it was incredibly violent. I felt very uncomfortable the whole time. Like, jokes aside, me like being funny, very uncomfortable the entire movie. But I didn't want to stop. I had to see where this fucking went. And it was 3 hours of me having no idea what's going on, and I couldn't look away.
I'm glad you brought that up, because like one of the main things that I do love about this film, and I'm sure you being a fan of film, you caught this, but like I'm not a fan of, people just assume that horror fans are pretty much mindless automatons. They just want to see blood and gore and this and that. I will take atmosphere and suspense any day of the week over that. But here's the thing, like I don't like violence in film unless there's a point.
Yeah.
I feel in this film, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable, on edge, but here's why. There's a big moral message at the end that I got anyway, that I don't know if, my pretentiousness is just drawing this out, or if the filmmaker intended this, but I do believe, I think you got to wonder at the end, the guy getting revenge, you almost have to wonder, almost becomes everything that he's against. Like, I mean,
The monster now. Now he's
yeah. Who's really the monster now at the end of the movie? Is it the serial killer, or is it?
So I wrote
retribution?
down. I promise this isn't off the top. I'm not that good at movie stuff. I wrote down some shit. But one of my favorite things, like theme wise, kind of that you literally just said, this was a weird take on a justice story. What's justice? And can it be justice when the guy who's hunting, even though he feels justified, he left a wake of victims? Him playing a game with this guy wound up in even more fucking chaos. Like, like I took a break, to eat halfway through the movie and came back when he shit out, the diarrhea, was rooting through the poop. That was the perfect time to like eat a snack. But like it was amazing. That was the halfway point of the movie, and then you're like, oh fuck, like this is about to be chaos. And even more, now the dad's being killed and the sister is fucking brutalized. Like, that shit was nuts. And is that, he's now his game trying to destroy the monster
turns you into a monster, or a bigger monster. I mean, it depends on. It's funny. This is a movie, and the reason I recommended this to you is because this is a movie. I've got maybe 10 on my list that I love to actually recommend to people, because I love so much to hear their take on the message. And everybody I talk to has a different one, and it fascinates me. Like, you're either on the side of the fence where like he fucking deserved it, and all those other people that got in the way or got fucked up, that was ultimately worth the revenge. And then there's people that are like you said, like, how good is the revenge if it causes a domino effect of brutality that's even beyond the point of the serial killers? I mean,
it took that, it like went beyond. It showed. So I don't know if you ever saw the movie Lady Vengeance. I can't remember the guy. Okay, so think of that. Like, you don't see the immediate consequence from the people, from like the families killing the serial killer. Like, they kill and then they're like sad and they're worried. In this, you get that immediately, and then you see the real life ripple effect it would cause if you were face to face with this. Like, this dude's the greatest. This dude, I don't want to say greatest villain because it makes it seem like I'm like, oh hooray, this guy was awesome, give him a Nobel Peace Prize. But he was like the ultimate villain. Like, that was the worst fucking, like, that serial killer. I've never hated somebody more. Dude was fucking.
He's actually a humongous actor, and I've seen him in several things, and he usually does play a heavy.
Oh, I want more. I want so many more movies.
He's fucked, dude. He's terrifying.
It was perfect. Like,
it makes you think too, because I'm like, there's fucking really people out there exactly like this, and you could be in your everyday life and come in contact with somebody,
a bus driver,
you would never fucking know.
Yeah,
that's the scariest part about it.
Now I'm wondering about every bus driver I've ever had. I'm terrified.
Well, first of all, I don't know, bus drivers kind of skeeve me out to begin with. So, unless they're Otto and the Simpsons, they usually terrify me already, because they're in a fucking, a dead end job. They don't give a fuck. They're making.
Well, that's the thing. There's no in between. You're either a raging pothead or like the world's cruelest serial killer.
Yeah,
that's just the sad reality that we live in.
I mean. So this was a favorable movie to you?
I liked it. I don't think I'm going to ever watch it again, but I liked it. It was a taxing movie. Like,
is it a roller coaster ride? Maybe
it was a lot. Like, you're watching it, and you I thought, like, within the beginning, I'm trying to figure out like what's the track being laid. I'm gonna be honest, him immediately getting like caught with it, which that was okay. So I just remembered something I wanted to bring up. There was weird little humor sprinkled throughout. the movie.
I almost feel like if that wasn't there, it would be so incredibly dour that you would just be like, ugh.
It was funny in the beginning until at the end it added to how fucking terrifying everything was. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh yeah, dude with his balls getting smashed. Like the killer or the badass secret agent was just like beating the shit out of everyone. Didn't even care. Guy cranking it just to pour. Like shit was wild. Like somehow the cannibalism was funny. But spoiler alert, there was cannibalism.
I mean, pretty good movie has cannibalism. Jeez, I mean, at least in my world.
It was I liked it. I enjoyed. Well, I can't say I like enjoyed watching it because again, I felt like uncomfortable, but it made me think a lot. And I think I don't know. That's like what I look at in a movie. Like, is it a movie that I remember, and is it something that makes me like question reality? And you know, that movie did that because Jesus Christ, that was fucking brutal, man. God damn.
You're not used to watching films of this caliber? I think.
Not really at all.
See, this is why this fucking show is gonna work, dude. Because I'm not used to watching the shit you recommended me, and it puts me out of my element. And this puts you out of your element.
I saw because I watch movies, and one of my favorite things to do, and this is the other thing I like, and I'm happy you're introducing me to new movies because it's giving me an excuse to like look up shit about the movie. Like I'm addicted to reading IMDb trivia. Check it out.
I love doing that too, man. I love it. I love every aspect of film.
And one of the what was the fucking phrase? Righteous torture was how it was described. And I was like trying to look for a better word because I hate the word torture porn or whatever, because it wasn't that kind of movie. Like,
I don't feel that. That movie's too underlying.
It wasn't
to be grouped in with like torture porn films.
No. Like, and that's the thing I liked about this movie. And what I look for in a good movie is it being honest in what's going on? And the fact that it didn't glorify any of this like brutality that's what stuck with me like big time.
Well, I'm actually it's a pretty polarizing film, so I'm actually kind of happy to hear a favorable.
I can't watch it again though. I just can't.
If you're not exposed, see, I've been exposed to this kind of caliber of film like since I was like 7. So like, yeah, I'm so desensitized. Like, you know, I could sit down with a cup of tea and throw that on again, and just it doesn't affect me in the slightest. Like, but I'm not a normal human being either. So I mean.
I'm going to give you, so there's some movies that I'll watch that are like that. And Cassavetes, A Woman Under the Influence. It's not violence at all, but it's like Jenna Rollins is mentally just destroyed she has like severe mental illnesses, and Peter Falk's her husband. And it's just this wild fucking marriage. It's like 3 hours, but you can't, again, like this, instead of it being violence where you can't look away, it's just like,
it's like the degradation of somebody's mental state.
Yeah. But it's a movie that like, I came out of it with sort of that same feeling where I'm like, holy fucking shit, this was.
That sounds up my alley. I'd be interested in that for sure. I think
I might have to give that, since you gave me a morally exhausting one.
Oh, dude, you already gave me an exhausting one. Let's get to that.
That was it. I thought it is comedically exhausting if you're not prepared for it.
Dude, I've been dreading this review for about a few days now because
here's the beautiful thing. I tried to give you gave me the most violent thing, and I gave you.
Oh, that's not anywhere close to the most violent film I've ever seen.
Oh my God, now I'm terrified. I kind of want to know what the most violent one is.
Seriously, dude, I didn't give you anything close.
That will be the next one. Damn, I'm actually very into that.
No, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to give you anything that doesn't have at least a reason or a purpose for violence. Like, I'm not a fan of people. There's people that do like gross out stuff and they do gross shit. And it's everything I stand against. Like, I find that very offensive as a horror fan. Like, they just think people are stupid and they like gore and that's it and there's nothing to it. That's
now that would be like the gore.
I was raised on classic Universal monster stuff, Hammer films, Vincent Price, things that suspense.
We are pretentious film snobs. God.
Oh fuck yeah, we are, dude. That's why I knew this was going to work for sure. So.
But I tried. I gave you, contrasting to what you gave me, is like just very docile, and it's cool because you can talk on way more of like the context surrounding I Saw the Devil, where like to me, Monsignor Hulot's Holiday, I can talk more about like Toddy's filmography and like that sort of style, which like
I'm curious to hear about it, because I'll be honest with you, dude. I found this is the pretentious snob in me. First of all, you know as well as I do, comedy is very subjective. You know that.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God.
Secondly, physical comedy to me is, I know it's kind of lost on me. There's been a few people I kind of really enjoy physical comedy.
Yeah.
John Ritter. I like Dick Van Dyke. I like like probably. I think I'm missing a big one. Chevy Chase. Like that's, but even that's not like great. But. I'm not
like
comedy.
How far back into like silent movie, like with Buster Keaton or Chaplin, Harold Lloyd?
No, I can appreciate anything. It's not even the fact that it's an old film.
No. I was just gauging.
Yeah, I can appreciate from any era. Like I watch silent stuff. Like I've been watching. Like it's funny. A lot of people have a problem with like subtitle films. I've been watching foreign films since I was like 7 years old. So
it's hard to recommend to friends, isn't it? It's in a car.
Yeah, they're like, I'm sure you've heard this when you're like, I don't want to have to read. I'm like, oh my God, because that would be so fucking terrible, right? Like, and not only that, they don't realize when you watch a subtitled film, as you're watching it, eventually it becomes fluid and it becomes an action where you don't even have to concentrate on doing it. But try explaining that to me. I don't want to have to read. I just want to sit there and watch the film.
Checking the library card.
Yeah, man. I'm like fucking subtitles are kryptonite to my friends. So it's like like to actually have somebody that's willing to watch a subtitled film is very bizarre for me. But yeah, I mean, I think the problem more so lies in me. Like I'm not so much a fan of physical comedy.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, dude, I found it very redundant. Like and I'm just like, I seen everything that was coming, like, and it's probably because it's been did so much, because I'm sure it's derivative. A lot of comedy is derivative from.
It's Toddy's work.
I'm curious. Tell me everything you can.
So the Hulot
I'm like, how does anybody take joy in this film at all?
So to me, it's
I've been fucking high, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, he probably was fucking high. So.
I am always that's the secret. You got to always be high, balls.
I was thinking about it, and then I'm like, I'm not going to waste good drugs in this movie because that probably won't even make me laugh.
Oh my God! So to me, it's again the contrasting nature. That's like a comfort movie to me.
Okay.
So where it's you can have it on, and it's entirely observational. So Hulot's character, Mr. Hulot, direct inspiration for Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson was head over.
I find Mr. Bean hysterical though. Like I didn't find this character funny in the.
So Toddy as a guy, and I think what I really, really, really like about how he makes movies, because he has. I chose Hulot's Holiday. For a reason, because to me it was the most it was almost like an ensemble sort of one area. You're just kind of seeing all this shit going on around you with literally zero story. And Toddy's other work is the same style, but the story isn't it's almost entirely visual, and I don't want to throw someone into that. So I'd rather just throw them into this world where you're just kind of watching it as you go along, and that's what that dude does best is you turn the viewer into the person observing the world around him. And one of my favorite scenes from that movie is I mean, it's silly, it's like kind of basic, but I love the way the dude pits silence against crazy noises, because it makes for a strange image. It's something that David Lynch does, but like in a weird way. So like comedy and horror separated by like, here's a
This is making sense to me, and this is probably not going to surprise you now. I'm not a big David Lynch fan either.
That's fair. That's okay. That does make a whole.
So I mean, that kind of I'm sort of like, I could see like a correlation here.
So and I bring up that correlation because Toddy was another influence on David Lynch's view on what you do with like how you can sort of tell jokes with sound and shit. One of my favorite scenes from that movie was him playing ping pong in the parlor, where like
he keeps coming out the door.
You kind of get thrown into
dropping the ball and then moving everybody.
Yeah, you're not like it's something that's like, it's for some reason it's not the focal point of where you're at in the parlor, like where the camera is. You're dropped into it, and initially you feel out of place, and then all of a sudden you got this like giant fucking asshole just making a commotion just over on the side. It's not it's not rolling over laughing type of thing, but I'm always,
maybe that's the problem. When I went into this film, I was expecting it to be like I'm like, all right, Mr. Hulot, fucking make me laugh. Like, I'm waiting and I'm like, this guy's a fucking dickhead. Like, if he shit anywhere in the fucking world, somebody would punch him in the fucking face like in 5 minutes. And all these people were just putting up with it. And I'm like, this is the most unrealistic shit I've ever fucking seen. Like, I'm like, Mr. Hulot could suck a dick in hell. Like, this would never happen anywhere. Like, I'm like, what the? And then, like, some of the shit I found so, I mean, I respect the fact that this dude, come up with a style of, like you're saying with comedy, but I mean, I'm just like, he steps in the boat, and I'm like, then I'm sitting there, I'm having this inner monologue with myself. I'm like, don't even tell me these motherfuckers are going to think this is a shark. And then they're like, oh, it's a shark. And I'm like,
you called the shark? God damn, Balls, I love it.
I'm just like, really? Like, somebody's really going to think that's a fucking shark, really? And I think that it's funny. I wish you could have recorded the inner monologue I was having when I was watching this movie, because I guarantee you'd probably piss yourself. So, because I'm just like, surely he's not going to go up the stairs on the suitcase and come out the back door. Well, there he goes, you dumb motherfucker. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen 5 minutes before it happened. I'm like, is it just because I've seen this so many different times now?
I don't know. I don't think you've ever been to like high society France. Those people over there.
No. Do I look like I've been to high society France?
You got high society France. You got these big buffoons. There's
no. Mr. Hulot, no. I have to come to high society.
Richard, you want to see that? I want to see that movie in. Did you ever see the movie La Haine, the like fucking outskirt like projects of Paris?
No.
Oh, that's I don't know. We could do that. We could put that on the docket for one I would need you to watch. That's a fun political movie. But Hulot, take him out of poshy France and just put him in the fucking worst environment you could think of. Put him in the streets.
It's interesting. I'll give you that. Dude, this is great. I'm glad you could actually like. I felt so bad. I'm like,
everybody has their taste. That's the thing. So like, I don't know. Movies they're all worth watching, and each person should be able to watch it and be able to go like, okay, like, whatever, like you acknowledge, okay, he has an impact on yourself, but it wasn't your taste. That's the beauty of movies and art, is just
I do respect the guy and the influence he had on people, though. Like, I'm not I mean, it's not my thing, surely.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, I surely respect what he did and what he's influenced with people. I mean, I'm not going to be like, fuck this. This is, I didn't like it, so it's the fucking fuck. No, nobody should watch that. Fuck this shit. No, like, dude, I respect that you like it. I respect that, you know, the guy, what the guy did and the influence he had on other, you know, people, you know, with that kind of comedy, but, you know, just not my thing. That's all.
So, and that's like, I think when you give, so if you didn't like that, none of his movies would have, that's like the way I like to recommend movies to people is like, if I'm recommending someone because I like a director, I'll try and give them the one that, like, if they don't like this, they're not going to like any of it. I'm not going to give, like, if I give you my favorite one, I could guarantee you wouldn't like it no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sort of feel that way too. So like,
And that's like, and I think that's always the best way, because it's not about like, I don't give a shit if you like it or not.
Same here.
But it's one of those, like, and I chose it because it's one of those movies that, like, if you didn't dig it, you might not dig the other stuff, like, at all. I might be surprised that you might, if you're looking for, like, actually, no, Traffic's the same way. Because it's all slow. It's all like slow visual building, like jokes off to the side, guy being an asshole, like on the other side of the camera. And then the audience has to do all the work.
Yeah, see, I'm not like a fan of like I'm not a fan of like jackass kind of shit. Like any sort of like physical, you know. I know a lot of people are. I get a lot of shit about it, but
bonk on the heads, like,
yeah, man. Like I'm not that. I'm not that.
Yeah, dude, this shit. Some of that shit can be lame if it's not done right. Like, it can be lame as fuck.
But like, I'll give you an example. It's funny. Like, I was like bitching when I'm watching this movie, and she's like, "It's just like the Three Stooges." I'm like, I find the Three Stooges fucking hysterical. Like, I that shit's funny to me. Which in turn, I guess it probably shouldn't be because it's kind of the same thing. So I mean,
You know what's kind of weird? I'm a little like, if the Stooges are on and like someone else is watching them, I'll have it going on. But it's weird. I'm like the opposite. Maybe it's like, maybe I feel kind of the same way about them. Where like maybe I've seen other people doing that sort of shit.
Yeah,
like
interesting.
I like what, like, don't get me wrong, like they're same kind of deal. I can see where. Okay, I'll use an even better example. You know the movie Duck Soup, the
Yeah.
Marx Brothers.
Yes, I do.
How do you feel about the Marx Brothers?
I like the Marx Brothers. I don't love the Marx Brothers. I like the Marx.
Okay. Okay, so you might get this feeling. So like a movie like Duck Soup, because I've seen more of that, can talk more about that than like the Stooges. I can recognize what's cool in it, like the mirror scene and shit. But everything else in the movie, like Harpo's just a dick, like he's just an asshole, and like kind of, I feel like the same way you describe Hulot, like this guy's just a fucking asshole. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't want to see any more of this shit. Like, some of it I thought was funny and I could recognize it, but I didn't connect to the rest of it. So I think that's like I wonder what that is in comedy. I wonder where the disconnect can be.
You brought up an interesting point. I think maybe I might have found why so much I wasn't so much in it. I almost feel like comedy or any sort of genre, horror, drama, anything, you almost have to have that connection with the character to really kind of perpetuate your feelings for the rest of the movie, whether it be fun, happy, joke, laugh. I couldn't connect with him because he was such a douche. And I'm just like, from it just kind of turned me off the rest of the movie. Like, had I just had that intimate connection from the beginning, a lot of that stuff I might have felt differently about. But I mean, I think that
that's
hit the nail on the head. I honestly think I was trying to figure out why I didn't enjoy this because I really wanted to. And
that's a hard. So that's like
you might have got it. I think
that's one of the most beautiful things about movies to me, and why it's why I want to make shit and make fucking dumb shorts where getting audiences to love your characters or like immediate relate to them. That is one of the coolest chases of telling a story, is how do you make sure that your character or like whatever
resonates with people.
Yeah, how do you keep them like glued to the reality you've created? You didn't want, like, you weren't accepting the reality that Toddy put in front of you.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And that's to me, that's the most beautiful thing about making this shit. Like, how do you do that and get people in?
I think the thing that makes me, what you just saying that, it makes me wonder too, how do people continually make successful movies and continually be able to do that? I think catching lightning in a bottle once is, that's hard enough, but to continually be able to manufacture and produce things where you're really good at that and you always have that ability to make people connect, I think is an incredibly special thing for sure. I mean,
it's the mark of like greatest filmmakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do that consistently, and
no matter what the genre is. I mean, that's a great filmmaker for sure.
Why, it's why a guy like Stanley Kubrick is held in such high esteem, being able to make fucking every kind of movie, from like war movie to comedy to scary movie, to make a horror fucking movie with The Shining. Like it's the mark of a great one.
It is. I have to say, I think episode 1 went pretty darn good here. Do you have anything else to add before we close Movie Snobs up this week?
Other than the fact that I'm gonna go buy a tweed jacket. I'm going to make my man bun, my already existing man bun, just a little tighter. For your next one.
Well, I already got the Masterpiece Theater chair. I'm going to get a really pretentious pipe. So,
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to keep doing these because we're going to keep giving each other just so wildly contrasting films.
Oh, don't hold back, dude. I could take whatever you give me.
I've never been more excited. I am going to
me too. Did I actually love it? I know it sounds like I didn't enjoy this, but I actually really enjoyed the experience.
I like talking about movies. You just got.
I do too. Like that's one of my favorite things in life, and I enjoyed this experience. The movie might not have been so much for me, but this is what it was about. Like, there's nothing I like more than movies that generate conversation. And this definitely worked on every level. So whatever we're doing here, I absolutely love it. I had a great time, a great experience doing it. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I really did, and I think you almost did too. So
I did. I'm terrified, and I haven't been able to sleep in a week. Some of those images are burned into my head of these fucking bodies being cut. When he's fired, I don't even want to fucking say it, but when he's fired from being the goddamn bus driver and winds up in the that shit was that. I could say that shit might have went too far, but like, fuck, the hunter got there. See, at least he fucking got there. Like, that shit was wild. That stuff's burned in my head.
I have PTSD as well, sir. If I hear that theme song, I told her, I go, if I start right now and I start to live a really horrible life and I die and go to hell, that theme song from that movie is going to play for all eternity. The Mr. Hulot theme or whatever the fuck.
Oh, it's so good. Dude, his fucking soundtracks are so beautiful. I love it. Okay, see, I'm a jazz guy, so that's how pretentious I've gotten.
Dude, I'm a punk and I'm a ska punk, so I mean, of course I'm gonna feel like when I'm in a Motown. I mean,
well, you don't like a little flute, huh? You don't like a little flute action?
Not like that, man. I'm like I said, I'll be in hell to be playing that in a loop over and over again in Dave Matthews, and then I should have probably been a better person on Earth, perhaps, because now I got to hear this fucking bullshit for all eternity. So.
Oh shit!
I love you.
I love you too, Balls.
Yeah, I'm glad we could do this, though, dude. I'm happy.
Balls. That was my favorite.
So that being said, I will put my collective brain together and I will email you the next experiment, if you will. I feel like I'm in Mystery Science Theater. I'm going to build 2 robots to watch this shit with me next time. So.
Let's do it. That sounds ridiculous. We need like an angel investor to give us like a CGI budget.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, And you
So
let me know.
I think we're still recording, but if anybody's listening wants to donate, roughly 500,000 to 600,
Give or take $1, yeah,
yeah, or a
get in
dollar,
touch.
or $1,
We'll put it to good use. I mean,
and we'll make,
I like
ourselves
conventional effects. I'm not a fan of CGI. Well, I'll do it conventionally. It'll be great.
pretentious motherfucking film stuff. Has to be real. CGI's dumb.
Yeah, man. I told you I was pretentious. What'd you
I'm
think?
gonna give you a Marvel movie. I'm gonna give you a Marvel movie for the next one. I know my comic book.
I like some of them, man.
It
But
was the
it's
first
funny,
one
man.
I could think of.
All my friends are like, they got like Marvel's dick firmly planted in their throats, and like everything they do, they shit gold. Like there's no bad Marvel movies,
There's some bad
Marvel movies. Yeah.
There's been some.
I do enjoy some of them. Like I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange too, because Raimi did it. So I mean, I watched Shang-Chi, which I never thought in a million years I'd watch. I actually enjoyed that. That was all right. But there's I don't.
I just saw Spider-Man. Spider-Man was all right. I mean, it was cool. It was like fandom. It was here's your childhood. Here's your whole childhood.
So it was more or less a love letter to fan service. More or less.
Yeah. Oh, and it cost billions. It was a spectacle. It was.
Well, it's the most grossing film of all time now. So they must have tweaked all those nerds' pocketbooks real good. So.
They got mine. They got everyone's.
Not me. I haven't seen it yet. Although I probably will at some point because apparently you have to see Doctor Strange too. So.
Yeah, legally speaking, you have that and like low key.
Yeah, they're gonna handcuff me. You didn't see Spider-Man. The black vans are gonna pull up. Get in there, fat boy. Like they're gonna take me to fucking nerd jail. It's gonna be terrible.
Jon Favreau comes and grabs you.
Yeah, I know he's gonna take my nerd card and rip it up right in front of me. What do you mean you didn't watch Wiki, motherfucker? Really? I'll tell you what I did watch. I watched Hawkeye, and that was surprisingly pretty entertaining.
I didn't watch it, but I will. If it has your blessing, I will absolutely check it out.
I don't think it's nothing you have to check out. It's something you haven't seen before. If you've seen a Marvel movie, you've fucking essentially seen most of them. So
that's what the next one of these is going to be on. We're just going to do. We're gonna go do superhero movies.
We're gonna make a lot of people cry. I'll give you some superhero movies that I don't feel gets enough love that people's never heard of or never seen. Like I'll give you an example. The Specials. Did you ever see The Specials? From 2000 or 2002 with Rob Lowe, and it almost predated like the where you see the behind the scenes life of superheroes, and it was all gritty, and other lives are all shitty and fucked up, and being a superhero pretty much ruined their life. It showed that aspect.
Rob Lowe?
Oh, we're fucking superheroes and blah, everything we do. Oh no, fucking save the world again for this week.
Is it Watchmen dark or is it lighter?
Well, it was one of James Gunn's earliest films after he left Troma, so
that was a James Gunn film.
Yeah, it's edgy, but I wouldn't say it's dark.
I'm in love with James Gunn. Peacemaker was sweet. I've been watching that's all.
Dude, I've loved him since he was in Troma. He wrote Troma and Juliet with Lloyd Kaufman.
Oh, I'm really gonna check that out.
Which I think was funny because he went from Troma, and they hired him from Troma to direct the Scooby-Doo movie, which I think is just amazing. How did that ever happen?
The original Scooby-Doo movie? With
the live action one they did?
God damn, yeah, that's hilarious.
They picked him right. He was working with Troma. He just wrote Troma and Juliet with him. And then they're, hey, you want to do this kids movie? Have you ever seen Troma and Juliet?
No, I haven't.
I'm looking
at his film. Damn.
And I'm like, how did somebody groom him from that to go do a live action kids movie? I'm just fucking floored, but I'm glad it happened because ever since then, man, he's he's been taken off. I love peace.
Sometimes you gotta do that in Hollywood. Sometimes you gotta.
I don't fault him at all, man. I think he.
Oh no, but that's the beauty of it. You gotta.
In fact, I actually called and defended him on Howard whenever they were giving him shit about fucking tweets he made 10, 15 years ago about jokes he made. I'm like, they fired him from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
and then they ended up reinstating him because everybody's like, we're not going to go see this piece of shit unless he does it.
That was when I remember that because Batista just put his foot down. It was like, if he's gone, I'm gone, motherfuckers.
Yeah, like because of shit, like nobody's ever said anything that they regret 15 years ago, you know?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. It's something we all have to look forward to is our childhoods catching up to us.
Yeah, everyone's thought I was an asshole since I was a kid, so there's really no cancel here. I've been canceled for 2 decades, so bring it on.
It does, none of it, canceling doesn't exist. It's beautiful.
I was canceled before cancel was cool, motherfucker. So that's how it goes.
We'll keep talking about movies so nobody yells at us.
Yeah, sure.
I won't be making any jokes about the police on here. Talking about movies, you know, it's a beautiful way to stay away from it.
So I guess we're not gonna. I guess I shouldn't give you Straight Outta Compton for the next one, right?
I haven't seen.
I think it's a pretty damn good movie. In all honesty, I have the Blu-ray.
I haven't seen it. Didn't Suge Knight kill somebody on set of that movie? Or was that one of those?
Suge Knight has been in jail for 15, 20 years.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's one of those like Twitter stories that follow shit. And,
see, I'm an old ass motherfucker, so like that shit was. I grew up on NWA and all that stuff, and
amazing.
I mean, how old are you?
25.
So yeah, so it probably doesn't have the same impact, I imagine.
Well, like it does, but I'm listening to, you know, listen to newer stuff. Like I'm more I'll listen to Kendrick Lamar over like that. And you know what I mean? Like it's like the better, you know, it's like the sound that I go with. I don't know why. Maybe it's just
fair enough.
like I like it. Like I like NWA a lot. Like I just don't listen to them a ton.
Now we're gonna spin off and do a music show.
I don't like talking about music because that's something I don't know. I don't know shit about music at all. I just like sounds, and like I'll just have stuff on, but I never remember anything. Like I don't remember music. I don't remember like who. Like I'll just have radios on. So
if I lay down a monster beat and I do some armpit fart noises for about 3.5 minutes, and I put some EDM behind it, you'll listen to it?
It could. It actually, yeah. If it sounded good, you know, it's. I'm not sold on it, but I'm interested in it.
Now I almost feel like I love a challenge. I might have to try that, but that's like ASMR, but way better somehow. You could like seriously, you could do that, and you're gonna find a market for it. They proved that before on the Howard Stern show. They actually got this dude that works there, and they recorded like he does like his nervous tick where he's like, boop. He does like a nervous tick where he like hoops, and they put it to a beat and they made a song out of it, and it actually charted on number 1 on like the charts, like the dance charts. Yeah, so that goes to tell you're 100% right there. So.
Well, why aren't you doing this now? God damn it, let's go. Come on.
Because that would probably make me a success, and that goes against everything I ever fucking stood for.
I don't know, Balls. You deserve a platinum record. Let's get you. Listen, my goal is we're going to.
Can I get you to drop some fat lines on it?
Yeah, I'll pick up.
Dude, you got to throw a few bars in there, and then I'll do it.
We're going to get you an EGOT. That's what we're going to go for.
Deal. Well, that concludes this week of Movie Snobs. Yeah, I got to say this went way better than I even thought it would, and I already thought it was going to be a blast. So I'm Balls. You might know me. You might know my boy Matt. Oh, Nesti, if you're nasty. But yeah, tune in next week, and we will surprise you with some more pretentiousness. So that being said, have a good night there, sir. Peace and love, peace and love.
Thanks for having me, Balls. You guys are awesome.
It's always a pleasure. The pleasure is mine, sir.